What we are doing here today is very important. We are trying to take our district back.
Yes.
So what I learned from my parents growing up is that when you see people who are in trouble, you don't turn your back on them. You walk toward them, you go up to them, and you say, "How can I help?" And that's what they taught me. And so I did become a labor attorney representing working people on the job. And I've represented people who've been cheated out of their pay, who've been fired unfairly, and I've helped them get their jobs back. I've helped them get their pay back and their dignity back. We all want the freedom to be able to care for our families. It's what we all want. And that starts with a good paying job, affordable health care for every American, and strong public schools, right? And that's why in Washington, I worked on the bill to raise the minimum wage. This is the $15 bill. At the staff level, I led that development of that bill that was introduced this Congress with Congressman Bobby Scott, my former boss, and Senator Bernie Sanders. It's very important that we now have a Democratic caucus-wide bill for the first time ever to get to the robust increase that workers really need, right? It's also why I drafted legislation to strengthen workers' ability to come together to negotiate for their fair share. And I did that with the support of the AFL-CIO, and why I wrote bills to protect workers from being cheated out of their pay and from unpredictable schedules that make it so hard for working people in low-wage jobs to make ends meet. And I did that with Senator Elizabeth Warren and her staff. So here's what happened. I felt called to come home and to try to be a voice and a vote for the people in Southern Indiana who I know and who I love. And I'll tell you this, when I go out there in the district, and I'm out there just about every day across the district, and this is what I am hearing. I'm hearing that people are scared. They're frightened, they're scared for their families, and they're scared for their future. There are too many people today who are doing everything right. They are working as hard as they can, and they are struggling just to keep their heads above water. So it used to be that as productivity went up, wages went up right alongside it, right? But in my lifetime, we've increased productivity by more than 75%. And wages have been stuck. That is wrong. Now, what has increased is CEO pay by 900%, right? I think it's time to rebalance our economy so it works for the people who actually do the work. And there are solutions out there that we can pursue if we send the right people to Congress who share our values and want to get these things done. We can start by raising the minimum wage. It's been 10 years since the lowest paid workers got a raise. We can make more workers eligible for overtime pay. We can invest in workforce training, in things we know that work, like union apprenticeship programs. This is one of the best ways to get people on the path to a good paying job and a career. We can invest in our infrastructure. It's time to rebuild our roads and highways and our schools, right? I think it's time to stop chipping away at our public schools, and that's exactly, I think we have some teachers in the room with us here today who would agree. And that's exactly what the voucher system that Indiana has leaned into has done, and we have to put a stop to that. We need to make real investments in education. It pays dividends for generations. And this is from early childhood education and pre-K through our elementary schools, high schools, career and technical education, and affordable college and two-year college. Let's invest in what works, and that's educating our kids for the future. We also have to look seriously at teacher pay and teacher training and funding our teachers. And we need to make healthcare affordable and available to every single American in the richest nation on earth. There is no excuse for a single person going without health insurance. And of course, this starts with protecting the Affordable Care Act and making sure that we don't roll 23 million Americans off their health insurance, but it doesn't stop there. We need to look at real solutions, real long-term solutions, like Medicare for all. I think it's time to stop sending people to Congress who don't care about us, who don't care about our families, who don't care about the struggles that we're facing. I think it's time to start sending people to Congress who are gonna have our backs. Because I'll tell you this, what makes this country great is not its CEOs, it is not its banks, it is not its offshore tax havens, it is the working people who built this country, right? If I'm gonna take a vote that's gonna affect your life, I want to know what you think about it. I want your advice. I want your opinion. I can guarantee you this. If you send me to Congress, I will work hard for you every single day. And I will not answer to big banks, special interests, or CEOs, or a rich dad. I want to answer to every single one of you. You're my boss. So, I'm excited to start this run. I cannot tell you how thrilled I am to see you all here today, and honestly, how much it means to me that you came out. And I look forward to working with all of you to take back this district.